Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Space Engineers No Jetpack Survival, and you're going to have noticed something very different. But first, I'm Prime. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm on the main screen. I'm not actually in the world yet, and that's because the Apex pack just updated. You'll see the little icon right there for it. So we're going to be modifying our save just to make sure that we've got all, yeah, there's a lot of saves there. That's all the previous episodes. I do like a new iteration for every episode so that we can always backtrack if we absolutely have to, or if we lose something. Okay, so it's called hard mode. That's what we've done. We're going to go to advanced. Oh, this is nice and new. I've not watched, apart from the release update, I've not watched any guides on this. I've not watched any kind of hints or help. This is supposed to be difficult for us, so we're trying to keep it that way. So yeah, another opportunity for you to have a look at the general settings that I'm using in this world. So weather's on, sun rotation's on, radiation is on, good. Davo, yeah, okay. Asteroid amount, high density, meteor activity, we're going to keep that normal. Yeah, we'll keep that normal. That's kind of a good pace. Too much, and we're going to start getting too many disruptions, so we're not going to get anything done. Sound mode, realistic, blah blah blah. I'm not going to be editing much on this episode. We're going to try and get this out as pure as possible, as close to how I recorded it as I can, so it's as similar to live as we can possibly get. Okay, without having to go live, of course. Right, auto healing's off deliberately. That's part of the challenge here. I just want to make sure nothing's like toggled itself on that shouldn't. We don't use progression, we're using oxygen. That's a requirement for some of this. Jetpack's off. For obvious reasons, just to make it hard. Cooldowns, blah, 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 blah. Survival buffs, nice. We'll keep that on. Okay, where's permadeath in here? We got rid of permadeath. I don't think it really means much to us anyway, but maybe it's further down. Right, we'll see. Cargo ships. I keep turning that on. I think modular encounter systems keeps turning it off again. Random encounters. Turn it back on. I don't know. They keep turning themselves off. I don't know what's going on. Spiders are on. Wolves are on. Unknown signals. Everything's on. Animal cap is 32, which is actually kind of insane. But you can go like stupidly high. You can go up to 64. Right. Random encounter density normal. Yep. Destructible blocks. Maybe we do turn off the modular encounter systems so we've got more chance to see what the new stuff is doing. I think that might be challenge enough, really. I think we'll probably do that just for a bit. I mean, they're not attacking us anyway. I don't think that mod's worked properly for ages. Aim assist is off. Tool shaker section. Third person view is off. It's another important one for this particular scenario. Experimental settings. Permadeath is on. Yes, good. Right. Super gridding, etc. In-game scripts. Blah 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 blah. Inertia sensors. Good. Yeah. Okay, now where was the bit about the radiation levels and such? Oh, food consumption rate, that's important. We're going to go with slow because I want to keep the pace in this game. I want to be able to use the facility, but I think 90 minutes is probably plenty, really. I don't think it needs to be any more intense than that. Otherwise, we're just going to be constantly stopping. But we're going to have to, at the very beginning of this, look at getting some of these new facilities in place anyway. Right, I'm not seeing anything about radiation intensity, so it must not be a setting. Oh, there it is. Solar radiation intensity. Now, I did ask on Discord for feedback on how high should we turn this up. We got feedback from one person who said light because we're on per time. It's going to be tough enough as it is. I'm going to go with that for now. We might step it up a bit later on, potentially. Again, we're doing a build. We don't want to really be constantly having to sort of avoid daylight just so that we can get this build done. So, right, that's good enough. So let's go to mods and turn off our modular encounter stuff. Then we'll double check to make sure cargo ships and stuff is still on. So, modular encounter systems, bye for now. I wonder how much stuff that was breaking, to be honest. Assert combat systems, get rid of that for now. Again, we've not seen assert in forever. We could probably bring it back later on if need to. Looks fine to me, this. Right, okay. Oh, abandoned settlements as well. That can go, 'cause that's part of it. Right. Good. Let's get in. And we'll get this episode cooking. here we are. So I've got my interface turned off. Let's see what's new. So now we have a hunger bar over on the left-hand side, followed by the usual stuff, health and all of that. Radiation, I'm not seeing it. I'm sure it's going to be a thing as soon as I step in the sun. We're going to find out in a minute. So first thing I want to do is we want to go and get the restaurant back up and running, because that's actually a thing. Let's see if we get any radiation damage by just standing out here. Where's the sun? There it is. Hello, cook me. These assert bases are still there, even though I've turned them off. Ah, here we are. Radiation exposure's popped up, level 1. Right, that works. And it goes away again as soon as you go back inside and get cover, which is great. Okay, so inside we go. Got a storm coming in already. Visor. Let's get in before we get hit by something. Right, now we're in. Oh, we don't want to go that way, actually. We want to go this way. Visor. Lots of doors. Right, visor again. Okay, so this is a sealed room. O2's high, nice and warm. We can watch whatever's going on outside without it coming in here. I wonder if they fixed it so the weather doesn't actually come inside. Because it used to. It wouldn't affect you, but it would come inside. Right, so here we've got plenty of space to actually start putting some stuff. We're kind of not getting the full starting experience because we've already started. This is our current world. I will have to do a full, like, you know, hardcore start again at some point. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see how we're going. Right. So, let's see what new blocks we've got. Now, there are a few things I am excited about. There was an expansion add-on to the previous pack where we got the reverse circular door. So I can actually now correct those soon. So that's great. Let's have a look for Apex stuff. Apex, here we are. So, let's see. Insect planter. Conduit stuff. This is all decorative by the looks of it. Lots of signs, which are great. We can put that on the reactor room. Storage bins are going to be cool for the cargo area. The new welder type stuff is going to be great. I don't know if it does anything different or if it just looks cool. Algae farms, right, okay. Terrarium, survival kit type 2, planter, which I'm assuming doesn't actually do anything physical. And an oxygen farm. Right. So this is a few of the things that come as part of the pack. But we need the actual stuff. Food items. Here we go. Are there food items? Okay. I need to know where they've put the main stuff. Because Apex... There we are. No. You see, these are the sort of the pack stuff. I want the free stuff. Where is it all? Production. There we are. Right, so we've got farm plots. We've got food processors. We're definitely going to need one of those. We need to put a new bar in place here, so let's clear out some stuff on a bar. Do you know what? We're just going to clear out number 9. We'll need stuff like that again, but we can put all that in later. Right, we've got farm plots. We are eventually going to need those. Irrigation system we're going to definitely need. Oxygen farm, algae farm. We should probably have some algae farm stuff just so we've got immediate stuff. I think that's all of the stuff we're going to actually need here. We're going to need ice, obviously. So we'll have to see what our ice situation's like. Probably non-existent because we've turned it all into hydrogen, but you know. Right, so algae farm's going to need access to sunlight. So we may have to put these somewhere else, although Should probably work through the glass. I just coloured that in. Doesn't matter, we're covering it up anyway. We'll just put one of those. Can't put that there because of that. Just. Right. So we'll put our algae farm in right there. Just one. Unable to place. Oh, it's because of the roof thing. Okay, we can't put the algae farm in there right now. Oh, I could put the algae farm in like that. No, I can't because of all of this. Again. So many problems. Okay, food processor instead. Let's put that here. Right. And then we've got to put an irrigation system in, which can work for a bunch of stuff. It does not... Oh, it connects that way up, though. But it's meant to go that way. I think. Because looking at the way that's... the way that it's lined up... Right, let's hold up the first thing first. Right, so that's our food processor. It's got a port at the back, which could be handy for something. Right, so we do need still the hydroponics thing. Possibly the food processor should be the only thing here. And we should probably offload the farming stuff somewhere else. Maybe. I don't think the food production stuff should be in the restaurant. That would just be weird. Right. Okay, I need a cover. Or a cap. There we go. What kind of cap do we go with? Oh, let's go with an exhaust cap. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah, that looks alright on there because it's like a bit of an AC unit sort of thing. And on here we'll just panel over these. I think for now. Yeah. We'll use these. Right. Because I've done them there. I should probably put one there just to make things look right. Okay, good. So here we have our food replicator system, which I can use to produce food. Right, but we haven't got any food items in right now, so we're gonna have to find somewhere to put a farm. Probably put one on the top or somewhere else. I have to kind of wait the storm out though, because it does come with dangers. And I'm glad to say it appears that storms don't come inside anymore. It doesn't look foggy in here. Yay. And unless this storm suddenly vanishes, I mean, I'm hoping that this new pack's fixed them. Right, so we're on 94 food right now, which means we are going to have to solve our food problem at some point soon. Otherwise we are a bit scuppered. Let's go inside the main building. Do a bit of a recce on our inventory and everything, because we've not done that for a little while now. Since it's safe in here. We can also get an idea of the size of the ship. Ew. Yes, it's going to be a big one. Right. Look at things. Things and stuff. We've got no ice. Ice would be on here if we had any. Yee. Right, that Verne observation station, I think, to be honest, that needs to be turned off, I think. So, Shift K, whatever. Communicate, remote access. Remote access, Verne observation station, terminal, antenna off. Better. That interior light as well is being a problem. So, interior light, show on HUD off. There we go. Finally. Good. Now, these two bases, I don't know if they're still going to be active, because I think the modular encounter spawner just spawns stuff. I think with the bases still being there, they're going to still shoot at me if I get anywhere near them. They're just not going to spawn new ships. So that might be why they're still there. The faction still exists and everything, so if we do decide to bring the mod back in, these will still work. So we've not lost anything. Right, iron 1.6 million. We've got loads. I think we might even have enough to finish that with what's there. Because that drill's still kept going. It's probably still trying to go, even though it's probably got no room to drill down anymore. Uranium 2.6k. Yeah, okay. Platinum 4k. I don't know how far that's going to go. We might run out of that. We might need to go and get more. Which means a nice trip somewhere. Platinum is only on Mars. So we may have to take another trip to Mars at some point. Luckily we have jump capabilities, I think. Yeah, we do. We still got our jump thing in space somewhere. If it still exists. Right. Silver, gold. We're like virtually out of gold, so we're going to have to take a trip to one of the moons for some gold. There's no moon here. All of the moons are at the other side of the solar system. So that's another long trip for gold. So things like ion thrusters, reactors, stuff like that might get held up a little bit. I think this storm is actually going away. I feel like it's there, but it's going away and not just disappearing suddenly. Which tells me it's been fixed. Wouldn't that be a nice thing? Yeah, looks like it's going away. Right, probably is safe to go outside. That was a sandstorm, that. Let's have a look at the roof. Let's see what the possibilities are of farming on the roof. It might be just a bit too... No, it's going to be too awkward, because like getting to the roof every time is just going to be a pain in the neck. We're going to have to do this somewhere outside, and then we're going to need to find a way of like farming it frequently without getting ourselves into a bit of a tiz. Close my visor for a minute while I just check the weather. Okay, now we're out in the sun again, so we have to limit our exposure a little bit. But we need to find somewhere to farm. I really do want to get back to the ship, but before we do that, we need to deal with our survival. I don't want to ruin any areas that are nice, like the garden. Yeah, it wouldn't make a bad farm down there, to be honest. But to be honest, it's that deep that it probably doesn't get sunlight very often. Although they don't need sunlight. We could use that for farm. No, because if I need to drill more, then we're going to get stuck. I could put a little farm out here and pipe it off that. Because this is the restaurant here, so the piping is along that line there, and I could just basically bring something out this way. And then build all the stuff over here. We could put our... yeah, we'll put our hydroponic stuff inside. So hydroponics can go in here. There's a nice spot there to pipe onto. I think behind this wall somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. I've decompressed. But this is temporary. We can put our hydroponic system somewhere in here, I think. Just sort of sticking out of this wall. Maybe bring a pipe down here underneath. Let's have a look at the unit first while we have a chance. So, right. So that's the way it looks. It's all stuffs. Then it's got these pipes on the bottom there, but like... I feel like you're supposed to be able to get to that screen. Looks explosive. See, if I put it in here... It's not so much of a screen, it's more of a thing. If I put that in there like that... Maybe if I put it higher... Just trying to make sure that this thing looks kind of cool. Right, we'll put it in there like that, and we'll have to pipe it down along the bottom of there, so... Because there's no piping on the back of this. So I'll have to actually just do a bit of piping at the bottom of there, and then cover it over on this side. But that means we're going to take out that, and that. So that looks like this, and we can see the workings. There's a panel there which is a bit high, but we could probably put some steps or something there so we can kind of get to it. Right, piping wise, did I get rid of that? I may have got rid of that. Yeah. Okay, that was a bit silly. Gee, right. Conveyor. I need the armoured conveyor blocks. Where's the main? That's the one with them all on. Right, so conveyor. I need a C shape conveyor that goes that way. I think that's correct. Looks correct. And we're going to put another one on the other side just for completeness. Exactly the same way. Right. Now we wait and see if that becomes airtight. Or if this block is just totally not. I don't think it is because of that side. I think I'm going to have to glass over it. Do we have windows on here still? We do. 6. That's way too big. 7. Nope. 1 by 2 is perfect. Probably want inverted. Okay, I need access to cargo. Yay for flippy things. Okay, I'm going to put one on the bottom as well, just to keep that a bit even. Nope, that's worked. So on the bottom, I'm just going to put a couple of plates just to protect. I'm going to colour it the right side, the colour of the wall. Well, actually, no, there's a reason why I wasn't going to do that. That works. I'm going to put some stairs to that little control panel. Well, I don't think it works, actually. I don't think the control panel actually does anything. It kind of looks like you should be able to access it. It's just a bit odd. Stairs there? Just like a little... not that one. Just a pair of them. Yeah, I think that works. Yeah, okay. It sort of looks a bit more like it makes sense. There is a flap thing there, but I'm going to make it an assumption that you're not supposed to just get to it unless I put these there. Or maybe there, I don't know. Ooh, this is a bit of a... No, I'm just going to ignore that flap for now, because I think for maintenance purposes, you'd probably pull a ladder up, or we'll pretend this one can slide across. I don't know. Right, okay, so we've got hydroponics in now, but we've still got no... Oof, we've still got no ice. So we're going to have to solve that problem. What else do we need? We need farm plots as well. We're going to need seeds on top of that. We don't have any seeds yet, so we can't plant anything unless we go out foraging, which we're not going to do right away. So we can put some algae stuff about. Yeah. We have to go outside and put some algae stuff around. We just have to eat algae crisps. Yum. Right, where do we put these? Let's see. What sort of size are they? 4. Right. And what sort of port access do they have? Only one side. Right, so they're just going to stick out like that. Okay. If I change these for T's, that's already a T. So we'll just flip it around. Right. The same again, but in T-shape format. 7, 2. Yeah. Okay. Do we do it sideways? I suppose we do. Don't know if this is enough. I have no idea. Cargo access? Through here, I suppose? I'm going to have to borrow that collar in a minute. Right, let's get the correct collar for these. Actually, we can take it off there. No, that didn't do it. No! I'm so glad I didn't hold control. That was really bad. Oh, that block's a bit messed up as well, actually. Doesn't look right. Sorry. That's better. Right. So I assume that's the correct block for there. It didn't mess up the inside. Anyway. Right. I've got to colour those things back the way they were. Luckily, it's a colour I was using on the inside, so it's not the end of the world. These belong in that colour. I pressed the wrong button, basically. I sort of had a brain freeze moment and was like, what colour do I do these? Right. These were that. That's right. I'm quite happy with that being like that, I think. These belong in that colour. This lot here is actually okay. At least I didn't do it a stupid colour, like pink or something. I don't know what we've done to the inside. We'll have to check that in a minute. Right, okay. Algae farm stuff. Let's do it in that colour. 4. Right. So let's turn them that way. That's got the thingy on it. Right, okay. We need 3 of these, please. Whatever. That's 1. Right, I believe we're not going to have to harvest these ones, so should be fine. Right, we want another one. E. Right, we've got radiation exposure of 9 right now, or 8. So if I'm in the sun like that, it gets me. But then if I'm in the shade like this, it goes down. Okay, so we don't have to go all the way inside. We just have to be... I just have to wear a hat. I'm wearing shade. I don't know. Never mind. 4. Oh, I haven't got materials. Yeah. So our first farming is going to be algae. You need steel plates to build... What the hell did I just grab then? Okay. Yeah, this just seems like the safest place to put this. Just because it's like tucked in between a couple of buildings. It's not massively in the way. It's not going to get shot by the guns unless like a spider appears here, although it's part of the same grid, so the gun shouldn't shoot it. Energy's low. Okay, so these are... Yeah, okay, so they're getting sunlight. They're not going to get sunlight all the time in the day, so we're going to need to put a few more around, but before I do any of that, I'm going to have to go and... Go and get my energy back. I could have done it anywhere. I could have done it in a seat in there, actually. Yeah, let's do that. Don't have to go all the way downstairs. We could have an underground sort of hydroponics bay. Potentially in the living area. There's plenty of room for machinery there. And I might not need the hangar bay for too much longer. So we could convert that out, and then when we do need a hangar bay again, we could sort of put something in the big hole that we've made, drilling it out, because we might not need that anymore. Right, I've got my energy back. Okay. So let's have a little peek and see what sort of time it's going to take for the algae farms to do their thing. So, algae. Current progress 60%. That's really quick. So it's going to produce a bit of algae every now and again. I don't know where any of it's going to go. Maybe it's got its own storage. Algae. Yeah, it's got its own storage. 60 litres. So in a couple of minutes, maybe less, we're going to see how much one cycle will produce in each of these. And then we can compare that to how much we need to produce food. And we can get some sort of a schedule together of how often I need to come back here and sort of do this. A schedule which no doubt I'm going to completely ignore.
Meteor storm inbound.
Oh, new meteor storms. Right. Let's see where they come, how they do this time. If they come from the sun every time or if all that's changed. Good to know that this glass is completely UV. Okay, doesn't seem much different. Oh, they do tend to be appearing... Oh, there's a few more of them. And they don't always tend to be zeroing in on targets. It's good. Nice. Okay. That's great. Yeah, happy with that. Right, so let's have another look at the algae farm. Algae. Alg. Right. One. So it produces one every couple of minutes, I suppose. It's 4% in right now. Next output in 4 minutes. It's about 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes I'll produce one. So I get 3 every 5 minutes right now. So let's see how that looks when it comes to actually production in here. So meal pack kelp crisp requires processed algae requires 1.33 to 4 algae. 1.33 times 4 XL. That doesn't make much sense. What's 1.33x approximately? Oh, right, okay. It requires 1.33 algae to make approximately 4 algae, not craftable pack things. No. I don't even know what that means. We're going to just try and see what happens if I try to make one. Oh, actually, no, I can't make one right now because it's totally grayed out. So we'll soon know how much... Oh, required... Duh, it says there. 4. 1.33x. I don't even know what that means. Anyway. Right, so that'll fill my... fill 12% of my fuel... food value thing over the course of 30 seconds and do 10% health. Which at the current rate, I'm probably going to need a few of them, but it's not too bad. How long do these take to make? Build time, 2.7 seconds to 8.9. That's not really much at all. Okay. Good. We are... Yeah, we're nearly 20% down. So, for the amount of time it's taken us to build all of this, we'd need 2 algae packs to sort of recover ourselves from that. Seems reasonable. We've been going for about half an hour. So 2 algae packs roughly every half hour. Definitely doable. Right. Okay, I'm just going to wait until I can build an algae pack in there, a couple of algae packs. And then I should be able to start working on a bit more of the ship. We're, again, like I said, we're about 35-40 minutes in right now, so we might get about 20-25 minutes on the ship before we call it. I want to give you a bit of variety this time. So, algae farms. Well, the algae farms have nothing in them now, so let's have a look for algae and see where it's gone. Algae. Alga. Oh, it's there. Going into ammo and stuff. Fair enough. I guess the scripts themselves probably need updating in order to account for this sort of thing, I suppose, and know where to put it. I'll have to keep an eye open for it. This is another thing about these sort of upgrade packs. You do need to keep an eye out for upgrades to your scripts and things, because your scripts on your programmable blocks are not going to update themselves, unlike the mods. Right, so we're on 3 of those right now. Should be some more incoming any minute now. So, control panel, alg. Next output less than a minute. 77%. So that should be totally fine. Okay, I think what we'll do, we'll queue up a few packs for now. So we'll queue up about 100. We can always cancel that later. So we'll just make them as and when. We've got plenty of food in our belly. We seem to spawn with it. Just to keep ourselves going. So we'll do some shipbuilding and then we'll come and fill ourselves up before we finish. So we've got a nice fresh start for next time. Lovely. Right. I feel slow. Interesting. Right. Okay, where were we at with all of this? We've done all of that. Although, one of these needs turning around. Is it that one? Let's open our visor. It's that one. Got enough gap there. This one needs turning around. Yes, okay. Right, so where did I put that on my bar? Definitely going to need to put... Right, there we are. G, so... Circ... Nope. Round. Door. Inverted. Goes the other way. This is the thing that I've been asking for since they put these in. And now it's all good. I can actually make these match properly. That's the wrong colour. Right now, well, for now it is anyway. P. There we are. There we are. Okay. We're going to colour all this eventually. Right, now this side as well, it's the same. So, see how these do line up, but this one takes up that space, and this one takes up that space next to it. This one I'm fine with. It's kind of worked out alright. It's not been a problem. So that was okay. Then we've got through here, 2 doors here. That one, doors there. Well, this one's okay as well because the doors are started taking up right space next to each other. They're in between there. Would probably have just been alright for maintenance to in here. It would have come out there, and I can't go through there because it will get rid of that sensor. So, although we could get rid of the sensor and do it on events, but it's fine. We don't need to do any of that right now. Right, I think all of this is properly covered. We're gonna have to do some stuff with these bits. I think for starters, that block could be filled in. Needs steel plates. So that block there can be filled in. If it wasn't meant to be, we'll figure it out later. Up there, we've got a gap in the ceiling there, which we'll fill in. Up there across here, we'll have to do something with that as well. Right, over here. No, that goes to there. This way goes to here. Yeah. So, battery area. Got room here for stuff. Now, there's been some comments about where we're going to put our gyros. Possibly, it is possible that we could put them in... I'd have to get rid of these blocks if I'm going to put them in there. On both sides, so that's probably a no-go. I can put them down the middle of here, actually. And they would probably take the benefit of some of these welders. We'll have to leave this gap out here because that's for crossing over. So we could put a bunch of gyros in there. What else was I working on? So we've got this space here as well. Which, well, these are taking up the block below, so they're not going to stop us from placing anything on. But I think these are too fragile to put gyros on, because if a gyro comes loose, it's really, really heavy. It's really, really tough. It's going to bounce around, breaking everything. So if like a bullet comes through here and takes out one of these panels that's got a gyro on, that becomes a floating menace. Not having that. Okay, so we've got a passageway down here with a ton of... Actually, I don't mind these window bits like this because they always have something interesting in them. Except for that one. This one doesn't have anything interesting in it, so it should probably be replaced. And that one. So these two, I think, need to go. I think I need to put some stuff back first, though. Nowhere to go in there. Right, let's put a bit. I think I'm going to have to put some sort of a thing there, a railing. Right. Okay, so we're going to replace this one. Look Luckily, it doesn't delete the floor. Right, where's my corridor bits? I could have done these with the other kind of corridor, to be honest. With like a different type, but we didn't, so we can't. Right, where's our corridors? Do we still... one, there we are. Passage blocks, should I say, that's the right term. So, just want a passage that blends in with the shape. Passage 3, that's kind of perfect, actually. What others do we have? Passage 3 with light. Might be better. That's a light there, though. Don't need a light here. Passage 3 there, okay. No railings, though. Why? Why is that taking less materials than the other one? Strange. Very strange. Okay. I'll leave that open for a bit. Oh, I'll just do this. Oh, it does have the railing in. That's alright. I was a bit worried that it wouldn't. Right. Passage 3 with the... without the light. That's really frustrating, that. Like, passage 3 with a window takes up less resources than passage 3 without. Then again, I guess the window doesn't take a lot of stuff. There we go. Okay, now all of this corridor makes some sense. I think here... I mean, this is one of those episodes I think we need to be doing little bits, because it's literally one of those things where, you know, we've kind of done other things and it's into our time a bit. And now we're sort of just dealing with it. I'm waffling. I'm literally rambling on. Right, where's the most logical place to put railings on this one? Probably in place of this now. No, I'll put it in place of that for now, because this is a rare instance where I need that particular block at this point in time. Right. Yeah, I don't want anybody, like, falling down there by accident. This bit, I'm not sure what to do with this bit yet. It could be another passageway. It wouldn't go far. But if it came out here, it just would be a bit of a waste. I think maybe... what do we put here? I think maybe we should have some sort of passageway. Where would this go if I cut through all of this? Should we try? Right, light armor block. Okay. Another light armor block. Past that, okay. Another light armor block. Right. So far so good. That's a light armor block. I'm not going to cut anything off, I don't think. And then we come out there. Panels. I think maybe... ah, yeah, that's not a bad idea. We've got plenty of spaces to put vents and stuff, so I'm not going to put that in here, but we could put a Willis duct system in here. I think I have one on the bar 9. There we go. Yeah. Now, obviously, I've got all the wrong materials for Willis ducts, so let's put these back. Right. Let's see what we can have. I want one with a hatch on the end. If there is one. Willis duct with a ramp. Nah. Great. Okay, so just an ordinary Willis duct goes there then. Right. We have to weld up as we go. To make things easier. Do we do them the other way around so they're low crawls instead of high crawls? No, because then we can't use the ramp. The ramp's cool. Okay. What bar was it on? 4. So, duh. Duh. This one, no, this one, I want it to be a different shape. I actually want this one to be a T-junction. That way. So I want to be able to look out on that. And naturally then that means this side should have a grate on it. Closed grate. Kind of blocks off that any possibility of putting anything on there, but that's fine. Survival level 1, maximum health has been increased by 10. Yo, buff. Nice. Okay, I did not know that was a thing. Welding speed's been increased by 10. Yay. Now make me have infinite resources. Grinding speed's been increased by 10 as well. I've not drilled yet any though, so I'm guessing that's probably just part of it. Yeah. Now movement speed's been increased by 4%. I can run away faster. That's nice. Okay, let's put a light on this one. Material plates. I didn't see what that last one was. Somebody shouted out in a note in the comments, so I know what the heck just happened. Right. Do we continue? No, it'd be weird just to have lots of lights here, so... I mean, I could probably jump in there and... I'm not sure how to jump in there. Aha. Nah, okay. You can't just jump in there. If I turn them the other way around, it'll be fine, but... Okay, so these are going to come all the way past here. This is just like another way through the ship. Okay, that's interesting, yeah. Good, good. Another light, I think. Light. Yeah, there you are. It's weird it doesn't show the light actually lighting anything. Right, okay. 4, 9, 2. They did something. Don't know what the whole thing's drilling. No idea. Unless it's trying to process algae. That would be silly. Right, here I'll want a junction so we can go from there. I want this to have access to different parts of the whole place, but just in a kind of more surreptitious way. Sort of for smugglers and all that sort of gameplay. Not that I'd want to invite smugglers into my ship. That would be silly. Oh, this has to be the T-junction. T, yeah, that way. Ooh, that's interesting. I'm going to have to do something about... We could make it so you could get out here, but you can't get back in. Unless you're prepared to build something. Or do we ramp down and turn it... Oh, no. I've got a cool idea here. Sorry, light. The light has to go. Ramp. Yeah, because that gives us the means to get in. I can't do it on this side, on this one, so that's why there's a grate on it, prevent you from going in. This is possibly going to mess with the airtighting though. Give it that Well, then again, when it's all closed, it's airtight anyway. So that's one problem with Willis ducts. I mean, it sort of mucks around with airtight. So I think maybe that here might have to go. So that is not going to be airtight unless that's shut. And it's going to ruin the airtighting for this area whenever that opens. That's a problem. Okay, sorry. That's just going to fall off when I do this. I think I got it. And now I'm sort of stuck here. Okay, I've got to find a way to... okay, I have to do this from outside. Never mind. Right, here we're going to have... We're going to put a light in. No, just a normal Willis duct 2, I think. It's got a grate on the top, but that's kind of covered, so... now I have to figure out how to get back up there. I think it was just this, wasn't it? Yes. Right. So yeah, at some point here I'm going to have to sort of inspect where's potentially an airtight problem. Nope. Nope. Uh-huh. This is fine for now. There may be room for more of these around the ship in places. It's just kind of for backup passageways. We could do it without like the venting and stuff on them, but I sort of like them. See, there's one there that sort of comes to the top of here, but it's not really going to be a problem because it's in this room already. Right, yeah, here is going to be kind of an X junction. No, it's going to be a T, but upside down.
Energy low.
Okay, we'll have to deal with that in a minute. Now we need to ramp back up. Good. Come down here and then we can sort of just ramp down again, I think. No, I think maybe we just... leave them straight. Yeah. Okay. Corner light. Yeah. The light's not a bad idea. Two. Yeah, because in an emergency situation when you want to get in here, you just stick it like a little half ramp down here and just jump on that and get in. Because you can't get in otherwise. Unless there's a way to... Nah, there's no way to climb in. Unless I do a little ramp here. Do we stop it here or do we carry on? Well, that sort of stops here. So I think this should probably also stop here. Yeah, we'll do it like that. And we'll put a little grate on it. Well, it's great. Yeah, okay. So this is from a ventilation point of view, linking this room to the far back room, to the front room. They're both fundamentally linked for airtighting here. I could probably isolate this off some way. So this whole section here could possibly isolate it off. This bit here I think probably needs to go. And we'll need to put something like a door on the end of that. kind of door do we want? Maybe an offset. It probably looks a bit weird though. In fact,
Inventory full.
probably want to take that one out as well. I'm aware I'm on 14. Fine. Right. I want a door. Doesn't take up a million sort of miles of space. But actually works for this bit. Like a sliding door like that, yeah. That'll do. So that's the end of that passageway and the start of the Willis duct as well. They take up similar space, but I wonder if the Willis duct should have a door over it as well, instead of having a grate. It would be a bit silly though. It'd kind of be a bit weird just having a door there, so we might have to sort of secret door this in the wall. Maybe like take that grate off. Oh, actually, yeah. We'll take that off. We'll move it into like a sideways way in as part of what this could be a wall. That separates this lot off a little bit, and that could be a wall as well, but minus the door bit there and something there. And we can find a way to put that in here, but make it a bit more airtight at this point, at least. Anyway, okay, so this puts us on close to an hour. So then what I need to do?
Energy critical.
Yes, I need to deal with that. Then I need to get to where my food thing is and make some refreshments. Some lovely crispy algae, seaweed. That's a delicacy in some places. I'm not going to complain. Not yet, anyway. Maybe I can complain once I've like tasted something much better. We have to go out foraging sometime. I don't see much around here, but maybe actually where I am might be the best place for foraging. That's cool, the lights there. Yeah, there could be forageables around somewhere. Right. In we go. That way. That way. So yeah, this is going to change the way we play slightly, having this Apex pack on. Not a lot. I just can't be too exposed to the sun, which means that trips through space long distance on a jetpack, well, we don't have a jetpack, but sort of hurling ourselves at things. If you are playing a jetpack world as well, trying to jetpack to the moon might be out of the question unless you try to do it at night. But what's night in space? You're going to struggle with that one. Right. Let's see. Food processor has made foods, I believe. Let's make another one. I want to see if this actually does something. Guess not. Inventory. Food. Nope. Crisp. There we are. Kelp crisp. 2 packets. Only 2. Okay. We've only got 2 packets. Oh, there's another one coming. Hey, 3 packets. Okay, so let's nom down on one of them. Let's take a seat at our table. I want to be red today. Okay. So inventory. Right click to consume. Now we wait a minute while our food bar goes up. Just a bit. I'm liking having 110 health. That's a first. This is great. So these sort of buffs are kind of a cool thing. You get stronger over time instead of being a weakling all the time. But then when you die, I'm assuming that you debuff and lose some of those perks, or all of those perks potentially. But since we're on permadeath and we are not yet in the habit of dying, I want to see how far these perks go. That'll be interesting, what the maximum is. Okay, that ended us up at 78. Get one more. I can see this definitely being a thing. That was like a 1 hour session. And we'll have needed 3 kelp packs, kelp crisps, to fully replenish ourselves. If we end up at 88, 89, 90. Okay, we're like 2 away from making full use of the next one, so I'm not going to take it yet. So when we're down to like 88, which might be the case by the time we actually get down to our base, where I'm going to stop. Because next time I might look at building some sort of an underground farm. Or when we do finally forage something worth farming. I wonder how much activity actually makes your hunger increase, if it does. This feels a bit smoother. Might fix some of that. Okay, so that's where we're going to leave it for this episode. Thank you very much for joining me. Have a fantastic weekend, and whatever else comes before we see you again next week for another No Jetpack Survival. Bye for now.